Narcissists are masters of deception, or at least they think they are, because they don't really have anything of real substance going on for them. For them, everything is smoke and mirrors, is trying to manage perceptions of this and manage perceptions of that. And when you're involved with one of these people in any serious capacity, then their deception is aimed at achieving one key thing. They're trying to make you believe that they're better off than they actually are. And they're trying to also make you believe that you're worse off than you actually are. And that's how narcissists succeed in hooking people in, manipulating people, and using them for long-term gain. Because the second limb of that, which is making you believe you're worse off than you actually are, they really want to deflate you. Narcissists, they're not really attracted to people who have nothing going on, unless they're just trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel and use that person for small gains. What they're really attracted to are people who do have certain things going on, who do have certain qualities they admire. If narcissists don't admire you, have some respect for you, at least at the beginning, then they won't spend their time trying to invest in you at the beginning. The reason they invest a lot in you is they want to get you closer to them. They want to get you bonded to them. But then they work on deflating you. They work on deflating your ambitions. They work on deflating your achievements. They work on projecting the shame they have in themselves onto you. They work on getting you to run low on energy, because if you're someone who's productive, who's fulfilled, or at least always trying to seek something more for yourself, one of those people who can actually make things happen in your life, they want to slow that down by running you dry on that energy that gives you that impetus, that thrust forward, where you create new life for yourself. So they deflate all those things. The way you see yourself, the things you want to achieve, your energy. They run you dry so you don't have that much to put forward, going forwards. And then, as they're doing that, they're getting massively validated that they, who are unable to do the things you do, who are unable to be the person you are, because they can never do or be that, for them, by being able to have such influence over somebody like you, it validates them tremendously. And then they get a boost of self-confidence. They feel temporarily like they own the world, because they see you as somebody who owned the world. And if they can take you down a few notches, then all of a sudden they feel like they're in that high ground. And then all of a sudden, when you become deflated, when you become this person who takes on their shame, takes on their lack of self-confidence, and then all of a sudden they come across as confident, they come across as someone who's energized because they're getting supply from your downfall, you inevitably start to perceive them as someone who has it all going on. And that's what narcissists do. Kind of shape shift, reversing roles, and they never want you to know that. But if you think about everything they do, from the initial love bombing to hook you in, to the devaluation to make you feel bad, and them trying to get uplifted through the process and get you to feel they're better than you, they're just using you to get temporary needs met. And what they hate most of all is when they're in the process of deflating you, they're in the process of running you dry in energy, but they're not actually succeeding. Because if they put all their eggs into your basket, or at least a lot of eggs into your basket, they always want to see that investment pay dividends. And when they see that you're not being fully sucked in the way they were expecting, you're not being fully absorbed the way they were expecting, you're not perceiving yourself as someone inferior as they were expecting, and you're not perceiving them as someone superior as they were expecting, then all of a sudden, Everything they were doing to you basically hits them twice. It's almost like it's karma, because they tried so hard to hurt you. They tried so hard to steal from you. Not just tangible things, but stealing your traits, your energy, your optimism, your ambitions. And they're not seeing that have the effect they wanted. Then they feel doubly low on supply. They feel even more invalidated. And a lot of times they have no choice but to try to shapeshift into someone who's like extremely altruistic. Sometimes this victimized mentality, they portray themselves as this victim. You know, if it's a man, they might portray themselves as this hurt little boy. If it's a woman, they might portray themselves as a damsel in distress. To try to draw on your pity, it's almost like it's one final shot to try to get you to cave. And they can only do that if they can pull at your heartstrings sufficiently, such that you open yourself up and make yourself vulnerable, so that they can then come in with one of those psychological jabs to take you down. If you think of World War II, when when the Allies succeeded in invading and landing on the Eastern Front, and they started working their way through France towards Germany, and Hitler launched this counteroffensive in the Ardennes, which was kind of the last shot at trying to push the Allies out of the continent, out of Europe, so that they could then, in theory, focus their efforts on the Western Front, where the Soviets were. Kind of like that Ardennes offensive. It's like their last major offensive before things go into unpredictable territory, ultimately in the path of a downfall. That's what narcissists do when they realize they put a lot of investment, they've worked really hard, and they're not getting the dividends they want. They have this last shot at trying to do something that even they feel ashamed of. They go into this character. It's almost like they believe the character's real. Like this hurt little child, this hurt little boy, or this hurt little girl, this damsel in distress, trying to pull at certain heartstrings of yours that they've never thought they would have to try to pull at, to see if they can get you to open up, become vulnerable, so that they can then take you down. So that's how they operate. And narcissists they like having a host, and for them a host is somebody who basically gives up their life for them. And it could last a few months, a few years, many years. And you're nothing but a temporary host for them, where if you've sufficiently engaged with them, now it's time to take you down until they can go on to the next person. Because once they're on to the next person, they're flying high on the supply and validation from the destruction they caused in your life. And that validation that they're holding now, that supply they're holding from taking you down, can come across as confidence, as a quality, as something positive as they try to invest that into the new person while they're love bombing that person. So they're recycling the negative things of you, which they obtained by taking you down, as something they're going to use to ensnare their next target and repeat the cycle. Thanks for watching.